Hello everyone, this is Paul here again with Landis Technologies, and today we're going to give you a nice overview of Attendant Pro, looking at all the features kind of from start to finish, giving a quick overview. The idea is that if you're a receptionist that's maybe being introduced to this product for the first time or just learning the product, that when you're done with this video, you should be very comfortable with operating Attendant Pro. It's a simple program. We design it to be very clean and minimal, but yet have all the features there that you need, as well as allowing you to stay efficient with answering and transferring those phone calls. So hopefully you find this to be quite easy. So I'll start by showing getting started with Attendant Pro, and really all you need to do is open the software and sign in to Skype for Business. So you notice Skype for Business is running in the background. Nothing will change there. You'll sign into Skype for Business just like you would have always done. You minimize that and open Attendant Pro, and you're set to go. There's really nothing more to it than that. There's no additional sign-in needed for Attendant Pro. It'll automatically just display the credentials here in the top left-hand corner for whoever is signed in to Skype for Business. And of course, we can change our status here as well. So once it's open, all your phone calls will show up here and you're set to go. So just to give you a quick overview of the screen layout, you're looking at the main screen here. Incoming call and call handling is done here on the left-hand side of the screen. And I'll bring some calls in and show you what that looks like. Your favorites or contact groups are here in the middle. And again, just to reference the Skype for Business client, the favorites and groups that we have, if we already have some established in Skype for Business, they will automatically show up here in contact groups. We don't need to recreate them. Once we open Attendant Pro, they will automatically be there. And then the far right-hand side, this panel is where we're going to search our address book for any name that may not even be part of our favorites. We can search our address book and find any name that we're looking for in order to transfer to them. So we'll start by bringing in a phone call and look at our options for answering and transferring. So again, you'll notice the calls will show up in the top left-hand corner in the incoming calls area. We have a new call ringing here. We can see the caller ID, and I can click the phone icon to answer that phone call, and it drops it down to a current call window here. Now we have a number of different options, but just to demonstrate how simple it is to answer a phone call, I have just clicked answer on this phone call. It dropped down to a current call, and I can simply click on whoever I want that to go to, and that call will be sent to them. So you notice a one-click transfer, incredibly easy. So let me show you some other options surrounding call transferring. So again, I'll bring this phone call in, and you may have several calls ringing at one time on a busy day. That's not a problem. You just simply, you can see them all listed there in list format, and you simply click on the one that you want to answer. So again, a live call here, we have the first button here, which is to put that call on hold, the pause button. Simply puts the call into the handled call area here at the bottom. We can still see the phone call, the caller information, the hold timer, and easily click to retrieve that call again. Blind transfer, you saw me do that a moment ago. Blind transfer simply means when we click on a contact, it sends a call to them, it will ring at their extension, and if they do not answer, it will go through to their voicemail. So a really straightforward call transfer. We also have what we call a safe transfer. Safe transfer essentially does the same thing as blind, except when the call is ringing to our contact, if they don't answer, instead of going to their voicemail, it will return to us here at reception. So John Smith did not answer that call. Instead of going to his voicemail, we see it came back to us here in the handled call area. We see that it's returned from John Smith, and we can answer that call and take a message or redirect whatever we choose to do with that phone call. Consult transfer. This is another common one, very straightforward. This allows us to speak to our contact before we pass a call through. For example, if we have a call for John here again and we want to talk to him first, I'm going to select Consult Transfer. I'm going to click on John, and it'll put the caller on hold while we are calling John. When John picks up, we can fill him in on all the details of the phone call, ask him if he's available. If he does agree to take that call, we just press the Consult Transfer button again, and that call is cleanly transferred through to John, and we drop out. So a nice, simple way to hand a call off to one of our contacts, but speak to them first. Another really handy feature surrounding Consult Transfer is the next option that you'll see on the incoming call here, and that is the option to use IM Consult Transfer. This allows us to talk to our contacts before passing a call through, except instead of calling them, we're going to use IM, which is much more discreet, especially for someone like John here that we see his status is set to busy. So I'm going to select IM Consult Transfer and double click on John. Now we'll notice automatically an IM was sent to John with all the caller information needed. So it's asking him if he can take a call, passing through the caller ID information, and giving him the options to direct what happens with his phone call. He can press 0 to reject the call, he can press 1 to accept it, or he can press 2 to send the call to his voicemail. Now the nice thing is, as a receptionist, I just need to put this call on hold. I know that John has all the information that he needs to make a decision on that phone call. And when he does make a decision, that call will automatically be transferred through to John according to the selection that he made. I don't need to touch it any further. So that transfer there was completed automatically without any further direction. So again, it makes it very easy to hand off a call to someone or notify them of the call and allow them to make the decision as to what happens. End users really appreciate that. Perhaps John was on his way out the door. He could easily just press 2 on his keyboard and route that call to his own voicemail. All right, that just about covers it for all the answer and transfer options. You also noticed as I was answering and transferring phone calls, I was clicking on the phone icons over here for my contacts. Now, the nice thing is, in addition to the phone icons, we can also send calls straight to voicemail. We can send calls straight to someone's mobile phone if they have a mobile device enabled. We can chat with them, open a blank chat window, or even an email callback reminder. The callback reminder is handy for callers that do not want to leave a voicemail, but they want you as a receptionist to hand deliver that note, such as tell Clayton to call me back when he's available or something like that. Instead of writing that information down and having to pass it along, we can just click the email callback reminder button, which will open an email to that contact. It will automatically pull in all the caller ID information. So with one click, we have an email template that is ready to go that has all the details needed to return that phone call. So that makes that task quite a bit easier, and it guarantees that you're not going to forget anything later. Again, very easy to organize your contacts. You can create new groups for any type of location, title, department that you wanted to, and you can organize them here in your contact groups area. I will also point out there is a contact card that you can enable here at the bottom of your screen. This shows more in-depth information for any of the contacts that you click on: name, title, location, department, time zone, anything like that. We can also see things such as related contacts, who's their manager, who are their assistants, who else is in their department. Sometimes that information can be handy for routing phone calls. In addition, there's a shortcut button there that we can see a glance at their calendar. Are they on vacation today? Are they in a meeting or anything like that? So that can be handy there. All right, moving to the far right-hand side here, we have the contact search panel. Again, very straightforward. We simply type in someone's name, the search results load instantly, and we can complete a one-click transfer to any of our search results there. We can also narrow down by other criteria other than name. So we have a common name here, but we want to, we have quite a few results. We want to narrow it down to just that name in a certain department. And again, it will narrow it down so we have a qualified list of contacts to choose from. That covers pretty much the answer and transfer. That's a bulk of it. If you can understand that, you should be set to go. I'm just going to take a minute or two here to point out just a few other shortcut buttons and tips that might be helpful to you. At the top of your screen here, there's a history tab, which shows you all your previous incoming and outgoing call history. You can find calls from history, click on them, and see all the details, phone numbers, and all that. So easy to find calls from your record. There's also a panel here at the top with quick access shortcut buttons. You can create any type of button that you want to. When you first install Attendant Pro, this will be empty, but you can create a shortcut button for any type of task, such as loading a web page, dialing a name that may be outside of your organization, loading an email that you work off of frequently, sending an instant message to someone automatically. Any type of action like that you find yourself doing on a daily basis, very easy in settings to set up a shortcut button for that. I will also mention that call recording is built into Attendant Pro. Here at the bottom, you'll notice a start or stop recording button. You can set recording to be on demand. You can set it to always record, or you can turn that functionality off. So if any companies need that functionality, independent of Skype for Business, call recording is built into Attendant Pro. There's also some stats at the bottom right-hand corner of your screen that indicate total calls taken, average time to answer, and so on. Just a few basic stats. However, if you click on those stats, it will open in an Excel dashboard that gives you a closer look at the information. Types of transfers used, calls by hour, what time of day is our call volume the highest. A few things like that can be helpful for making staffing decisions. Just a quick overview of the settings. I'm not going to go real in depth with the settings. Again, Attendant Pro is pretty much plug and play, and there's not a lot of adjusting you need to do, but there are some things that you can change if you need to. Obviously, the language can be changed, some visual settings like font size. You can change the way your groups are laid out, and you can even change what buttons appear here for your contacts. So you can be very flexible with how Attendant Pro is laid out. You can modify your search settings. You can eliminate buttons on the current call window. If there's a certain transfer mode that you do not need, you can hide it from view. One setting that I want to make special note of is the transfer mode on answer under the transfer tab. This is what allows you to complete one-click call, answer, and transfers. We can set transfer mode on answer to be our favorite. So let's say blind transfer is what I'm using most of the time. I can set that as my default mode on answer. That means whenever I answer a phone call, that call will automatically go into blind transfer mode without me even needing to click on blind transfer, which allows me to answer a call and simply click on where I want it to go, and I know that that call will be completed with my favorite transfer mode. There's a number of other settings that you can configure for caller information, for all of that. I won't go into that. One thing I will point out is you can adjust shortcut keys for Attendant Pro and make them whatever you wish to make it even more efficient for answering phone calls, transferring, and all of that just using keyboard shortcuts. So you can take a look at the ones that we have in there from factory and change them if you wish. All right, that pretty much covers the basic functionality. Again, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out to us. We're happy to connect with you one-on-one and answer any questions and give you more insight where needed. You can do so by going to our website, www.landustechnologies.com. Thanks a lot for taking a look at Attendant Pro, and we hope to speak with you soon.